on this generation of women?
A terrible influence, my nigga. A terrible influence. Like my nigga Lou said, bro. She's ruining the youth. She's ruining all females. Cause I don't want to offend the other panel member, but this whole sexual liberation shit. What does that even mean? What is the purpose of that? What is the point of you being able to fuck whoever you want? Why do you even want to do that as a woman? Why? Since when did women start wanting to do this? I remember, there was a time where you want to be locked into one person. You don't even want to, your body count matter. Not that it should matter, but it's like women used to value that a little bit more. They like threw all that shit out the window when Sexy Red. Well, once people like Sexy Red started coming around, but Sexy Red really dominated that shit. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how you feel about it.
I just feel like with the whole Sexy Red thing, like the whole sexual liberation, no one could really judge a woman on what they do with their body. I feel as though the same standards that's held for a woman should be held for a man too, because it's like we glorify. No, it's not fair though, because it's like we glorify or we. I don't want to say glorify. We demean women who, in this case, Sexy Red, like, show her body and all stuff, show like, her sexual liberation in some sense. But like, it's like if you see other rappers like Lil Baby and all stuff, or Lil Durk, whoever that's showcasing, like Kanye West, who's showcasing like, the woman that they're with and all stuff, them degrading and showing their bodies however they want to. It's like, oh yeah, he got a bag, he like money.
Nobody respects Kim Kardashian as a wife.
But
nobody respects Kim Kardashian as a wife or a girlfriend, or as a partner.
Well, we're not talking about Kim Kardashian. I'm talking about Bianca right now. And he married her.
And what do people say every time she gets married? What do people say? Yo, you damn again, you fuck. That's what Ray J had. That's what Kanye had. That's the main thing that people are saying about Kim
Kardashian, though. The main things that people are saying about Kim Kardashian, because despite that happened to her and all stuff, and she put that name for her, and she got famous for what.
Okay.
She still put a name out for herself. She still got Skims, which is a very popular brand. She still got she's still doing stuff for herself, and that's the thing that I feel like people need to separate themselves from. Just because you see a woman do bad in society, see a man do bad in society, that shouldn't just be the narrative for them for their whole life. Like we just demean people off of one bad decision that they had, when we've had bad decisions ourselves. But because ours is not publicized, it makes it okay and all stuff. Like, no, they've went through shit just as much as we have.
But I feel like, listen to me. That matters. I get what you're saying. It shouldn't. And I in a sense, I agree with you. It shouldn't matter that women should be able to do whatever they want sexually, just like men. But the way that we think in society is just not like that, and it's never gonna. It's always. It's a societal thing. Put it like this. When Chris Brown put his hands on Rihanna, we never heard about him doing nothing like that ever again for a minute. But we held him to it for a minute.
I still hold him to it.
I never felt like he was wrong.
That's a whole different.
What?
I'm saying.
Lost me.
But that's because that's something he was held to that for so long, because that's another society standard that only men are held to. Because if a woman did that, if a woman put her hands on a man, they're not gonna hold that to her for years. Like, remember when you used to beat that nigga back in 2003?
Okay, but what about the whole thing with the Michael Rooney Jr. thing right now?
That's society.
That's what I'm saying. It's a society thing.
It's not okay, but as a man, since a man is more masculine in society, you should never put your hands on.
I agree with you.
So
but that's why society looks at it that way, because it's certain things, it's certain values. But it's certain values we put on men and women in society.
Right.
That's up to us as men to hold that. If you don't give a fuck about a woman putting her hands on a man, then you can't now say it's your old society. That's up to you.
And certain men don't. Certain men
we switch it up and say that it's based on person, because we just talked about how society influences every fucking thing.
I just feel like this whole thing, I get it. Society is very influential and all stuff, but at the end of the day, we all as individuals have free will. If someone wants to do something, then that is their own choice at the end of the day, despite what society is. Just because someone, like, for me, I do like fashion content. just because someone sees my content doesn't mean that like all of them are gonna be like, oh, I want to wear whatever she wears. No, some people might not. It's all up to their choice. I feel like that's the same thing in regards to like, you know, society knows that shit crazy as hell right now.
How do financial issues impact relationships today more than decades ago?
I feel like people are not really ready to stick it out like right now, like because of society and like we live in a get it quick society and all stuff where we see everything on social media. We're just like so close-minded to like, oh yeah, like you should already be here. Whereas like back in the day, people were thugging it out. Like, you know, like a woman would be with a man and all stuff through his lowest and all stuff. And a man would help a woman like, you know, get up and all stuff and like do what she need to do, whether it's like, you know, businesses. And I feel like that's still the case here and there, like depending on the relationship. But I just feel like the certain expectations are just super high right now. And we just all need to come back to reality and stop sticking towards what social media has in front of us. So, yeah.
It's hard to disagree. I think you really hit it on the head. That's really how I see it as well. It's really just everybody wants it fast. Everybody wants it right now. Potential is really not enough once the quick money and the quick finances is there. So, I mean, and I do a trick, like you said, this is how I look at it, right? Back in the day, if a woman was with a man, she was with him for a long ass time, didn't see any potential of being with another man. So he'll be dead broke and you had to stick it out with him. And was going back to the previous conversation. Now it's like women don't have to do that anymore. You could be broke and it's like, damn, I don't have to go through this with you. Like I can just, you know what I mean? My man's down the streets balling and he in my DM, so.
Wow. I feel like it's only because we had lack of resources back in the day.
No, yeah.
Now we have more resources, so it's like they have more ways to get it. Back in the day, they depended on each other because they didn't have as many resources as they depended on. So now it's different because you can scam, you can sell drugs, you could do this, you go to welfare, you could be an independent mom, you can get all this assistance. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. It's either you had that man to help take care of you or you ain't have shit.
Everybody's accessible too.
It's so accessible. Everything is just right there in your face. So it's like it's like fast food, bro. Everything you want is in your face.